Good morning, dear students. Today we'll be discussing about a new topic, that is electroplating. It is one of the applications of electrolysis. So what is electroplating? Electroplating is a process of depositing a thin layer of superior metal on an inferior metal with the help of electric current. So let us understand this process, how it takes place, what are the things required for it. Here you can clearly see that we have taken a coin and a copper plate. To one terminal of the battery we have connected the coin, and to the other terminal we have connected the copper plate. And when the circuit is made complete and the current started flowing through the circuit, after a few minutes what we are observing? You can see the coin got the coating of copper. So we are going to understand how this process takes place, what are the things which we will be using for this process. Let us understand the process of electroplating an article of iron with copper. What are the materials required for it? Yes, you can see we need a beaker, copper sulfate solution, aqueous copper sulfate solution, concentrated sulfuric acid, and copper plate and iron spoon, 6-volt battery and a switch. So we'll make the circuit as shown in the figure, and once the circuit is made, we will dip both the electrodes in copper sulfate solution and we will switch on the circuit. The moment current will start flowing through the circuit, we will find that slowly the iron spoon gets the coating of copper. After half an hour or 1 hour, you will find that the iron spoon gets completely coated with copper. So let us understand how this takes place. In this process, the copper plate is always connected to the positive terminal. That means the superior metal will be always connected to the positive terminal of the battery. If it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, what we call it? Right, we call it anode. And the inferior metal will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. That is, the iron spoon will behave like a cathode. Now when the process of electrolysis will start, you will find the copper ion and the sulfate ions, they get separated from the copper sulfate solution. And the copper ions which are positively charged, they will move towards the negative electrode, that is towards the iron spoon, and slowly they will get deposited over the iron spoon. That means in the solution sulfate will remain free, but sulfate ion will not move towards the positive terminal. Similarly, the water present in this solution will also get dissociated into hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion, but they do not move towards the positive terminal or the negative terminal. This you will be studying in higher classes, why they do not move. Now the copper ions from the copper sulfate solution, they got deposited on the iron spoon. Now the new copper ions will be released by the copper plate into the solution. That is why at the end of the process you observe that the iron spoon gets the coating of copper, whereas the copper plate becomes thin. So this process is known as electroplating of copper on iron object. So the ions which are released are copper ion and sulfate ion. Copper is positively charged ion, that is, it is cation, and sulfate is negatively charged ion, that is anion. So cations will get attracted towards the cathode. Thus, on the whole, the anode loses copper atoms to form copper ions, and cathode gains an equal number of copper ions to form copper atoms. And that is how the iron spoon is coated. Now, if I want to get the coating of silver on any other inferior metal, take for example copper or iron, then what I have to do? Let us understand this process. Again, I'll take a beaker, and in that beaker I'll be placing two electrodes. One is made up of silver plate or silver rod. The other one is the copper spoon. Now I will connect the silver plate to the positive terminal of the battery and the copper spoon to the negative terminal of the battery. And after making this circuit complete, I will place these electrodes in silver nitrate solution, aqueous solution of silver nitrate. Okay, and then I'll turn on the switch. The moment the current will start flowing through the circuit, you will observe that the silver ions become free from silver nitrate and they start getting deposited over the copper spoon or copper object. After this process is complete, you will observe that the copper spoon gets complete coating of silver, whereas the silver rod or the silver plate which we have used, it will appear slightly thin in size. Again, the reason is same. The silver ions, as they are positively charged, they will move towards the cathode. In this process, the cathode is copper spoon. Okay, whereas nitrate ions will remain in the solution. So positive ions, that is the silver ions, will behave like cations. They move towards the cathode, and the silver plate will behave like an anode. Okay, so whichever superior metal we are using for electroplating, that will be always connected to the positive terminal, and the inferior metal will be connected to the negative terminal. I hope from both this process you have understood which metal will act like a cathode or which metal will act like an anode in the process of electroplating. In case of doubt, you can ask me in our next class. So this is one of the application of electrolysis. We use this process of electroplating to enhance the beauty or enhance the quality of the object made up of inferior metal. Not only this, for preventing rusting also we make use of this process. Okay, so this is the importance of electroplating. I hope you have understood this process. In case of any kind of doubt, you can always ask me in our online class. Thank you.